All right, this video guide is going to walk through the new group notification feature that we've just released in iScout. So if you're familiar with iScout, you probably know that you can set up notifications for whenever a form is filled out. So for example, I could go on and say, I want to receive an email anytime a near miss report is filled out with the severity of set to critical. So if I save that, then for my profile, I will receive an email when that near miss is filled out, which is great, except that if you have a lot of new employees that are being loaded all the time, it can become tedious to keep up with all of these notifications that you may want to set up for managers and supervisors and so on. So with the new group notifications feature, you can kind of set these up in bulk so that they go to different groups of people, and I'm going to walk you through doing that. So I'll delete that one. Before I get into the actual interface, I wanted to show you the roles and permissions. So to be able to manage group notifications, there's a new permissions level. And basically you would just need to have a green check for your role if you wanted to edit these notifications. And then you'd be able to find it by going into the employee settings page, and then there's an edit group notifications button there. Or you can go to notifications for a profile and hit edit for the report notifications. And there's a new group notifications button at the top right there. So both of those will take you to the same place, this new group notification page. So there's a lot of different things you can do to set these up, and it can get a little bit complicated and maybe a bit confusing. So I'm going to walk through some really simple examples, and then I'll kind of work into some of the more complicated examples. So first of all, we have this incident report form. And so if an incident happens, then maybe we want to just email that and send a push notification to all of the managers and admins in the whole company, because that's kind of a big deal. So you can see on our incident report, we've got all our questions over here. So I'm going to bounce back into the group notifications, and I'm going to add a new notification for the incident report. So we want all reports to get sent regardless of what the content is. So we'll just leave this at all responses. But we don't want to send it to everybody. We don't want employees to receive it and all that kind of thing. So what we actually want to do is say we want the recipients to be if the employee's role is set to manager or admin. And so now if the employee's role is manager or admin, they will receive this notification. And then you kind of get a preview of what that looks like in your current site. So I currently have 4 people that are managers or admins in this demo site. You can choose whether they receive updates. So if the form is edited, or if the response is edited and someone goes in there and changes the information, you could receive updates if you wanted. We'll leave that no for now. And then you decide if you want email notifications or iPhone and Android notifications, and we'll do both. So here you can see we've got this notification set up now for any manager and admin, whether they currently exist or are added in the future. They will automatically receive all incident reports via email and mobile, and that's it. Now you've got it set up, and you don't have to mess with new profiles and adding notifications for new users and that type of thing. So that's kind of a simple example. Now I'm going to kind of work into a little bit more of a complicated example. Let's say we want to set up a near miss report notification, but we only want it to be, let's say, if the near miss report has a severity of critical. So we're actually going to filter by some of the data that's inside the form itself. We only want to receive critical near miss reports. And then we want it to go to, let's say, everybody on that same project as the near miss report. So we don't want it to go to the whole company. We don't want it to go to a specific person. We want the recipient to be dependent on what is in the near miss report. So I'm going to real quick bounce over to our near miss report. And you can see we have a project field in our near miss report. So whatever project is selected right there, we want everybody in that project to receive the near miss. So I will add a condition, and I'll say that the employee's project has to match the form's project. And so that setting right there means If the near miss report is, say, filled out for the Dallas project, then everybody in the Dallas assigned to the Dallas project and their employee profile will receive this notification. And then we'll set it up just to be a mobile alert and not an email. So again, this is a little bit more complicated, but all critical near misses will be sent to everybody in that project. So that's kind of a more powerful way to kind of distribute these reports specifically to the people that need to receive them. All right, and then now I'm going to do one more that's even more complicated than that, and it'll be an observation report. So let's say anytime a observation is filled out, we want it to be sent to the project manager for that project. So we're going to set up a couple of different filters here. We don't want to filter out the observations, like the actual reports. We want all of them to be sent, regardless of what the content is. But we want it to be sent to some specific people. So first of all, we'll say that the person's job title is going to have to be, let's say, project manager. Here we go, right here. So if I left it like this, any observation report would be sent to everybody that's a project manager, regardless of if you're a manager for Dallas or Houston or Denver or wherever. All those people are going to receive this. But that's not exactly what we want. We want it to be scoped down to only the project manager for that specific project. And so we will add another condition right here, and we will say that the employee's project has to match the forms project. And so now we can see that the project, only people with the project manager as their title will receive it. And then also the project on their profile has to match the project that was selected within the form itself. So this is our observation report. We have a project. Whatever is selected right here is going to determine who receives this report. And then we will set this one up to be a mobile notification as well, and we'll save it. So I hope that made sense. It can be a little bit hard to explain, but if you kind of patiently read through the wording right here, it tries to explain exactly who would receive this. But again, there's a lot of different ways to set these up, and they can be pretty powerful to filter what responses are filled out and then to send them to different subsets of employees in your organization. And that can even be dependent on, what the data is in the form and matching that up with the person's employee profile. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to us. There's a support@iScout.com email address, and then there's other documentation at help.iscout.com.